Alright. Hey guys. It's Ian with VotoCycling again. I just got to work. So, I have not done a vlog in a very long time. And I apologize for missing out last week. Boy, that's a big pothole right there. But yeah, I completely missed out last week. I've been very busy and I apologize. But it's such a nice day, and it's Friday, and I am off this weekend, so I figured I'd take the bike to work. Look at this blue sky. Also I'm testing out, oh god, this is like, I'm testing out a new mount on the helmet instead of the chest mount. I also flipped my mirrors, as you can tell, because I couldn't really see with the other mirror up, because I kept seeing my arm only. And so then, yeah, so those are the two things I've done. I've also, I put so many different mounts in the bike and trying to figure it out. I put a mount here, put a mount on the lamp right here, I put the mount in the back. So we'll see how that goes. And I got another GoPro, I got a second GoPro, which I don't have with me today, because my brother has been using it to do something else, and I'll tell you what that is later. Apparently, are we allowed to go? No. That car just took forever to make a right turn. Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, so I'm trying out this this mount, and also I'm going to talk about a topic that people have asked me a lot, which is kind of weird, which is, how did I get through college? And I did a video on like a little bit about college, like whether college is for you or not. This is kind of a different topic in the sense that how I got through college, meaning what were some of the things I did to not fall asleep in class, to remember what I study. I don't know, study habits, things like that. I think that car's gonna stay. Yep. And then so obviously this is probably not gonna work for everybody. It might only work for me. But I figured I'd share it, and then if you find any of this information useful and helpful, and plus I get to talk about something on my ride home, then we'll go from there. Oh, there's a bike. Okay. So I figured I'd talk about it here. And basically, let me make sure that the mirrors, I'm still in the adjusting mode of these mirrors, so I'm still working on it. It's a little tricky, I must say. So I have like basically 7 points or 7 things that I remember doing to get through college, and all of these things were only realized, you know, really while I was in college. It's not, you know, there's no book. I mean, there is probably books and stuff to tell you and help you how to get, you know, guide you how to get through college. But honest to God, it really depends on the person. Like I said in my previous video about whether college is for you or not. So my thing is this. The first thing that I realized for myself was that Basically, I'm not alone. You know, I would go through the college days and thinking like, why did I get myself into this? You know, whose brilliant idea was this? And I found out that I'm not alone then, you know, and I would be like, ah, this is so difficult, and I feel like I'm suffering, and I'm like, why would I put myself through all this, you know, I feel like it's not really suffering, but I feel like I'm confined and I have to do something I'm not really a big fan of. And then I realized that, you know, I'm not the only one in the boat that's suffering, per se. Everyone is going through hard times. It's difficult going to college sometimes and studying topics that, you know, can be difficult to understand at first. So jumping over that hurdle is kind of difficult. And basically what I learned was that, what I realized is that, you know, at the moment I start finding these people, the moment I start seeking out other people who share the same feelings I do, who also feel like, you know, this is so hard and it's not fun at times. So basically when I start doing that, I started making friends, and I have buddies to study with and buddies to hang out outside of class. It wasn't so bad. It was like, okay, we're all in this together. Let's make a group out of it, a study group. Let's get to know each other and, you know, share other interests besides going to college and suffering together, quote unquote. The second thing that I realized was I had to think about, who am I going to college for? Why am I going to college? And the second thing is, I was going to college for my dad. He had double bypass surgery, and at first at undergrad I was like kind of not sure what I wanted to do. You know, in terms of picking a major and what I wanted to study. But then you know, my dad, he almost had a heart attack. I just came home one day and he was on the floor, and the next thing I knew, the hospital's calling me, telling me that he needed to do double bypass surgery, and I was just like so lost. I was like, what is happening to my father? And I had no idea what was going on with my father, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna pick a major and go to college and figure out what to do with my life. So yeah, so I went to college for my father, or finished college and went to grad school for my father. So that's number 2, you know, figuring out who I'm going to school for. Is it for me? Is it for my dad? If it's for me, fine, but it made my dad happy that, you know, but I was happy too because I got to help my dad. Traffic is always crazy here, and I'm sorry about this video. You're gonna see a lot of traffic. I'm sorry. But he's happy that I went to college, and now I'm happy because I get to help him a lot with his medications. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is sleep. I have, you know, as a kid, I would sleep 12, 13-hour days as a kid. But then when I grew up, when I got older, you know, going to college and trying to work full-time. I literally worked full-time and went to school full-time. Drove back and forth between the college and work. And what I found is that I need at least 8 hours of sleep even as an adult. And so, hold on, let me get on this ramp. So, as an adult, I still needed 8 hours of sleep. Now, it might not be the same for everybody, okay? Everybody might be need a different amount of time to sleep. Some people only need 6 hours of sleep. I don't know if that's necessarily medically sufficient, but yeah, they feel that 6 hours is refreshing, and, you know, 6 hours is not refreshing for me. I need at least 8. So I had to find a way to get 8 hours of sleep. And that is basically getting everything done before 10 o'clock p.m. It's really what the bottom line is. Is anybody behind me? No. So the bottom line is to pretty much I had to get all my studying, whatever, done before 10 p.m. every day. And oh man, holy traffic. And then the other, so sleep. I found ways to sleep. Boy, I don't think I've taken you guys on the highway, so I don't know if this microphone's working out or not. I hope so. I hope my voice is getting through. And then so that was the first thing. So that's number 3. Wait, that was that number 3? So number 4 is no caffeine. I was told before going to pharmacy school that I would end up drinking like 50 cups of coffee a day just to stay awake and study. And I decided to tell myself no. I took a multivitamin a day, 1 a day, and drank ice water. I would carry a bottle of water with me all the time, and never got into coffee. Never needed coffee to keep me awake. It was just proper sleep, enough amount of sleep, and water. So that's what I found out for myself, was the less I depended on coffee. Holy cow, it's loud. The less I depend on coffee, the less fatigue I was. The more energy I had when I woke up in the morning. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 is to reward myself. I rewarded myself basically if after an exam and I don't have to study for another exam until my next exam. Let's say my exam's on Friday and my next exam is next Wednesday or Thursday. I would just take the rest of the Friday off and go out and hang out with my friends, either a bar. I'm not like a bar hopper or anything, but go out to a bar, go out and get some desserts, get some food, just hang out and take my mind off of school. So I rewarded myself. And then what I used to do in undergrad is if I take an exam or a quiz, and if I do really well and I get my scores back, I'll buy myself a Coke, a soda, along with a Twix. I like Twix and Snickers. So I'll get myself a candy bar and a soda, and that would be what I drive home. And that would be for the drive home, because I passed the exam. And yeah, so I did the same thing in pharmacy school. I just rewarded myself with a nice dinner, going out to eat, or a nice dessert. So that's number 5. Number 6 is I used to ask myself, when is college going to end? Because I felt like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. I just felt like it's never gonna end. Like I felt like I was in college forever, which I was, but it just felt like it. And then so what happened was I stopped asking myself, when is it gonna end? And I started asking, when will it begin? And the reason why I started asking that is because I want to know when I can begin living my life after college, with the knowledge that I've acquired in college, with the degree that I will be awarded for all the time I spent studying in college and acquiring the knowledge. And I asked myself, when can I apply all this knowledge? in life, in my life? When can I use this knowledge to affect other people's lives in a positive way? And so when I started asking that, it was less of a drag. And what I realized when I started asking that was when I started believing. The question is, when will it begin? It begins when you start believing. When you start believing that there is light at the end of the tunnel. That's when it begins. And that's number 6. Number 7, and the final one, for me anyways. I mean, some people might have 50 different ones. Number 7 for me is, and I think it's a very interesting one for me, I started treating all my exams as if they're paychecks. Yep, that's what I did. I just said, every time I take an exam, I treat it as a paycheck. So I look at it as if I was to go to work, and if I do well at work, technically I get rewarded, a raise for my job well done. Not all companies do it that way, but that's how I looked at it. And so if I do well on an exam, that's a paycheck indirectly, or it will turn into a nice paycheck when I'm done, when I pass that class. And that's how I looked at it. So I started treating all my exams as if they're, as if they're paychecks. So yeah, so those are the, I don't know what you want to call them, my guidelines, or what I learned, or my technique, or whatever. Those are the things I did to get through college. Hope that helps. I'm gonna go sit in traffic now. You guys probably don't want to see this. So yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.